Hi, this is Joe Navarro and welcome back to People Watching. A few days ago, Spidey and I took a look at the old John Benet Ramsey case. And it was a reminder to me, and certainly after I received numerous emails, of things that investigators need to think about. And so I'm going to share this with you. I have no idea what happened in that case. But an investigator needs to think this way. It's a very procedural way, but I think it's very useful. When I came into the realm of behavioral analysis, this is what I was taught, and so I'm going to share it with you. Number one, when we look at a case and there's a victim, we have to ask ourselves, was this a high-risk victim or a low-risk victim? And if it's a low-risk victim, they live in a protected neighborhood, or there's TV cameras, or there are guards, whatever, how did they go from being low-risk to high-risk? Now, oftentimes that can occur because, as I had in one case in Tampa, a woman ran out of cigarettes. She lived in a low-risk neighborhood, but went out to get a pack of cigarettes, and while walking she was assaulted. So there are ways to go from low risk to high risk. But that's a question that needs to be asked. And also, did a predator suddenly move into the neighborhood or a sexual abuser move into the neighborhood? So you can go from low risk to high risk in those situations. The second thing I was taught is that an investigator must account for all behavior and all time. Now think about that for a minute. We have to account for all the behavior, of course, of the victim. And this is in part what we call the study of victimology. Who is this person? How did they live their lives? And so forth. But what were the events that led up to their demise? So as an investigator, I want to ask questions about everything that led up to, during, and after. So there's a beginning, a pre-event, event, and post-event behaviors. When we look at it that way, so we ask first, what was the victim doing before their demise? What could have taken place during, let's say, an assault? And then what happens to the body as it decomposes? It gets cold, the blood tends to settle, so we have postmortem lividity, changing of the color of the skin, temperature changes, and so forth. So there are, in essence, post-event behaviors. Now we look at the suspects. Whoever those suspects may be, we look at pre-event, event, and post-event behaviors, but we also have to account for all time. And so when we are looking at an individual or individuals, such as when you're dealing with a gang, you have to account for what were they doing, but at what time were they doing it? And leading up to the established time of death, could have taken place at that time. So if you have a very large man and let's say they're swinging a bat, that's a behavior that should be explained because of the laws of physics and the physicality, the weight of the item, and so forth, and a specific period in time. But then, unlike the victim, then we look at all their post-event behaviors. What did they do? Did they clean a weapon? Did they get in a car and drive away? Did they flee the country, and so forth? So this is a quick reminder. I know it's in the news. I know it's very popular to talk about now. But anytime an investigator looks at a case, number one, do we have a low-risk or high-risk victim? How did they become a high-risk victim? Number two, what are all the pre-event, event, and post-event behaviors, and that they must be accounted for in time and in sequence. So I hope this helps you. For those of you who are amateur investigators, thanks for following me on this channel, and thanks for joining me.